Hi, it's Matthew Holt with the Healthcare Blog. Quick spotlight with one of my favorite venture capitalists all the way from Barcelona. This is Marta Zanchi. She is the principal head boss and chief bottle washer at Nina Capital, a micro venture capital in Barcelona that Marta founded. Full disclosure, I am something called a venture partner to Nina Capital. I have no idea what that means other than she gives me work occasionally. But I thought I would check in with Marta to see A, how the weather is in Barcelona tonight, and B, to learn a bit more about Nina Capital. So Marta, welcome to THCB Spotlight.
Thank you, Matthew. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So first off, was the weather in Barcelona good, and how are you guys all dealing with COVID?
We're blessed with a lovely summer, which we cannot enjoy because cases are coming up. But look at the bright side. The sun is shining and the sky is blue.
All right. Okay. So Nina Capital is a pretty small in terms of finance VC fund, but mighty. But what is the principle? Why did you were working in Silicon Valley for many years in health tech, digital health diagnostics? You were associated with Stanford and DCVC, that fund, and then you went off. Decided to move to Barcelona as an Italian, strange move, to do a micro VC fund. So tell me the thought behind that.
Yeah, it was all born out of a sense of frustration, honestly. I had been in Silicon Valley by the time I started thinking about Nina Capital for 13 years. And something new was starting to happen that I hadn't seen before. A high number of companies from Europe were starting to approach me to present their health technology companies. They were good, actually, very good, comparable or even better to some of the opportunities that I saw out in Silicon Valley. But the sense of frustration started to kick in when I realized that there was no capital for them in California. They were too early stage, too far away for investors in the area to take a risk on them. So I started thinking about the fact that, okay, something is missing in Europe. If all of these young companies have to go all the way across the Atlantic to try and pitch venture capitalists in Silicon Valley for the pre-seed rounds. So I decided that there was an opportunity, there was a market gap, and that was my chance to start a company that would meet the needs of entrepreneurs here in Europe that are looking at early stage funding in health tech.
Fantastic. So Nina, which is named after your daughter, there's been I don't know how much of the fund she put in personally, but you raised what 20 million euros? Is that roughly right?
$20 million. The first fund was 18 million euros.
Okay. And then tell me what you've done with how long ago was that, and what have you done with that first fund? Give me an idea of how many investments you've made, and give me a couple of those investments and tell me a bit about some of the companies.
Yes, absolutely, Matthew. So the first fund was launched in September of 2019. So we're just about shy of 2 years old. And in this time, we have made 22 investments. We still have to announce a few of those, but watch the news for some information about our latest investments in the next weeks. We have done investments in 14 countries. Most of those are European countries, but also the United States and Canada. I don't know how you want to call the UK, so we're still part of the old continent.
Some strange offshore Russian tax haven now.
But there are lovely entrepreneurs in the UK as well, so I'm happy to count a few of them in our portfolio. And there are a bunch of amazing companies from pre-seed and seed. They are tackling needs from cancer with proton therapy devices to contraceptive. And I will not tell the name because this is one of the companies that we will announce soon. Companies that instead are looking at reorganizing the way in which care is managed inside the hospitals or the nursing home. Great variety of funders. And it's been a pretty exciting couple of years.
All right. Tell me, give me, I know that, they're all your children. You can't pick favorites, but pick me two favorites that you're very proud of.
Oh, no, I can't. I really can't.
Yes, you can. Come on, pick two.
Okay, I'll do instead of my two favorites. I will tell you about a couple of companies that actually this year have raised subsequent rounds of funding.
Okay.
And so they are the first ones in the portfolio to graduate to the next equity round. One of them is a Switzerland company called Early Sight. Early Sight was a pre-seed investment of ours exactly a year ago. And this company has developed a really interesting optical technologies that watches the back of the eye with unprecedented resolution as a platform for understanding finally disease progression before we see the symptoms of glaucoma and other terrible diseases that unfortunately today proceeds to cause essentially blindness with very little therapeutic options available. Um, Early Sight is a spin-off of a university in Switzerland. It's a great team, the way we like it. It has a couple of early stage, technically trained new CEOs and entrepreneurs, a seasoned entrepreneur who is a professor still at the university, and also a clinical specialist in the ophthalmology area. And they have recently raised their seed round in April. Very happy about the company, also the relationship that we have through participation in the board of directors by way of my investment manager, Sebastian. So that's one to watch. And I recommend that you go and read the story of the spin-off in our Medium blog online.
That's one. Give me one more.
One more, again, the second company that graduated to a subsequent round of funding this year is ContextFlow. ContextFlow is a company that has developed an artificial intelligence platform that serves the radiology departments with the needs to be able to actually shift through the increasing amount of information that they have available, trying to make their job a little bit easier with growing amount of data that now they need to be able to shift through to accompany patients to a final diagnosis. This is an Austrian company. And this has been actually one of our first investments in 2019. We're very happy with the progress that the company has made. They're actually very close to becoming a US player as well. So we're cheering for them and have been working with them for the past couple of years. So another one to look out for.
Excellent. So that's just 2 out of 22. So obviously, you've got a relatively small fund and a lot of investments. So there's a lot of work that you've done in kind of, and I've been, tangentially around the edges, seen you doing this once I've been involved, but you've done a lot with not only research. You've had a bunch of interns, and you've had a bunch of you've done a lot of work for the sort of scale of fund you are. What's the next step for the fund? Is the goal to keep being at that level? Where are you in the process of figuring out your next fund, and how do you keep doing this? If you found this many opportunities already in Europe just in a couple of years, I assume there's a whole lot more that you could be going after. And I don't know how much competition you have on the fund side and the micro fund side in Europe, but things are heating up across the world, of course. So where are you as an organization, and what's the next step for Nina Capital?
Well, I've been incredibly lucky because in the past couple of years, a wonderful team has come together, and it's very consolidated, and it's working beautifully out of an office in Barcelona. So with Mark, Sebastian, Yahel, Ferran, Jordi, we form a really great team, and we are continuing to work to basically assess now 300 and plus companies every quarter. So we're seeing an increasing number of companies in health technology at the early stage. It's becoming actually increasingly difficult to be able to manage such a large pool of information. The top of the funnel is amazing, and that gives us confidence that there's a lot of work to be done in the future. We think our market positioning has been proven correct. And perhaps a couple of reasons why I am able to say that is that we've been able to make every single investment that we have wanted to make. And coming from Silicon Valley, I know that's a very privileged position to have. Funders have resonated with what we had to give, and limited partners are happy enough to have invested in our fund that they are all coming back in a second fund as well. So with the strong support of our existing limited partnership base, we are gearing up for raising our second fund that will start investing at the end of the year. But again, with the same consolidated team, with the same market positioning, the same strategy, and believing strongly that we have found our sweet spot. So we're happy to be a micro VC. And yes, we might look really small, but there is a rationale for it. We think that to be able to grow and become the reference health technology early stage, super early stage VCs in Europe, you have to be of that size. And so this is where we are.
Fantastic. So the goal is to keep doing more of the same, right? You said did you say 300 companies a quarter that you're seeing just in Europe? Wow, that's a lot. Exactly. So I mean, you don't need to invest in all of them, but that's over 1,000 a year. So that gives you a lot of opportunity. And you mentioned you're raising another one. How big is the next fund going to be? And you mentioned the LPs are coming back, but what's kind of the appetite and what's the interest amongst potential other limited partners, and who are typical limited partners in Europe in micro VC funds? It's probably a fairly new thing for European pension funds to be talking about, investing in a micro VC fund. Maybe it isn't, I don't know. But where are you headed for your sort of, how big is the next fund and where do you expect it to come from?
Thank you for that question, Matthew. So our second fund has a target of 40 million euros. And I know that there are VC funds that are doing early stage investment that are really 10x or 100x the size of Nina Capital. But I think that's the right size to be able to capitalize on the opportunity that we see. And I still think that the most exciting thing that I have in this industry is unchanged from day one in which I started in this adventure. That very first check into a health technology company that is written based on just first principles, a strong understanding of the healthcare market, a conviction that the application that we have of the biodesign process is one that gives us an advantage in understanding what health technology businesses have to risk themselves for success. And also the partnership that we get to forge with an early stage team that is attempting to do something particularly ambitious when there are still a lot of very early stage binary risks in this industry, because a lot of the things that we see are still pre-regulatory clearance, they're still pre-commercialization. And so we have to be able to work with them with going back to the basics. Is there a need? Is there a market opportunity? Is this the right technology for it? And there's still the people that are going to be able to understand all of that complex patchwork of stakeholders in this industry to align them behind right incentives for success. And so that's the part that I enjoy the most. And that's the part that has sort of driven the strategy of Nina Capital from day one. So we continue with that.
Fantastic. Well, in the last question, if people want to find you to find out more about either Nina Capital, your research, or perhaps write you a check to join in the process, how do they find you?
Marta@nina.capital. Very easy to find. Find me on LinkedIn. There is a form on our website if you want to send us your company for evaluation. I promise that we're reading those submissions every day. Very easy to find. So come.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your progress, because I remember meeting you more than 2 years ago when you weren't quite sure how it was going to go, and it's gone really well. So congratulations on all you've done. Good luck with this next fund and the future. And I've been speaking with Marta Zanchi. She is the principal partner head of Nina Capital based in Barcelona. Marta, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Matthew.